Hi guys, today I'm back with another video, and this is about performance management process. We are talking about the performance management process and performance management standards and what are the performance appraisals, and this is the very basics of those. What is the performance management process? So in performance management process we start from this phase, which is setting up and communicating performance standards. So first of all, in every human resource department we have to set up some performance standards for the employees, and it depends on the organization and it depends on the nature of the job. So your performance management standards will be different according to the job, according to the role, and according to different departments. So your every different department will be having different performance standards, so the standards cannot be same for them. So for this purpose we have to make our standards, and these standards have to be measured in the very next phase. So when we are like setting up the standards, we set it according to some kind of benchmark, and that benchmark can be an international organization, and we measure our standards, like we give some like 1, 2, 3 some weightages over there. And after when we are measuring our standards, we over here analyze that what we are going to distribute, how we are going to evaluate, and how these standards will affect any person's jobs or its performance appraisals. So these all will be different according to the job. Once we have done that, we compare these standards with other like standards, like where is our standard ranking. Like if we are using the standard of a very good organization, we will just compare our standard with that standard, and we find out the gaps in it, and we use those gaps to improve our standards. Then we discuss the results once we have improved our standards, and we work on like taking the corrective standards. So basically over the time period, like your standards are improved again and again. So this is about comparison will help you to improve your standards, and you follow the corrective standards when they are corrected. So once these are set up, like this phase is set up, then we go up to the planning the next phase, like how we can communicate this to the employees. So very first is that we need to identify that which performance appraisal is relevant to which job, and we identify and communicate it. We set some performance goals, and then we establish some performance criteria. So basically you have to establish like how you are going to analyze. So like a very simple example is that a marketing job will have a different standard than a researcher job. So basically your all jobs will have different performance criteria. Like marketing job will have like targets in his jobs to achieve or sell products, like researcher will have to publish research. So this is different with every different job. Once we have done that, we have to determine the appraisal period and methods, and the responsibility for the appraisal, like who is going to do the appraisals, like who on which people the appraisal is going to done, who will be collecting. Over here you can see a very little arrow, like this process can be directly relevant to this process. So when we are measuring up the standards, we can also work on this one, like determining the performance appraisals, and we like measure up like when we are going to measure the performance of different employees. So that is why it is like relevant to this one, and we can directly work on this one when we are in this phase. Similarly, when going up to the comparing standards, we have already studied, we have examining work period, work performed. So when we are comparing the standards, this is also like we examining the work performed from the employees with the like our set of these standards. So we compare this work to this one also. So that is why you can see our direct arrow from comparing standards to examining the work performed, because we are going to also like compare our work, our performance with the different employees, and also according to the set criteria. So when we are getting the result from this, we appraise the results. This is like over here your performance is now going to be like appraised to you. The results will be given to you, and you will be also given some kind of result, like how you can improve it up, and how you can work for the next year. So basically over here it is also, as you see, can discussing results, and this can directly go. So when we are discussing results, we are actually also going to appraise the results to the employees, and then taking the corrective standards. So over here if you see that conduct appraisal interview, discuss goals for the next period. So once they have examined your work performance, when they have find out the results and your overall performance, they will conduct appraisal interview. Like this is time when you go to your like head of department, and people are sitting up there and they will talk to you about like what you have done and what are the gaps and what you need to improve. So over here, like this is the very last phase this is with the employees, and this is like improving the standards. So from here, if you see that an arrow is going back up, and this is going back up again to the planning the performance. So basically when you are finishing up this one, you go back again to the plan the performance, and the same process starts. So in between you see we have these arrows and these arrows, because this is a two-way process. This one is not two-way process, this is a single-way process. So basically when we are determining over this phase, like what are the appraisal period and methods, we anticipate and consider the performance, the problems with performance appraisal, the effective performance appraisal system. So when we are measuring standards, we determine the periods, and we also see that what can be the problems in our performance appraisals and what can be the effective performance appraisal system for the employees. So by this one we are also discussing the performance appraisals at this moment, and then when we give the results back, we compare the standards, we examine the work performed, and here it is also a two-way process, which is management support. So when they examine the work performed, they coach you, they perform training and development, they give you some improvement tips, they help you to improve yourself, or they can tell you like we are not going to continue with you. So basically that is why over here it is a two-way process. And then when this is done, the results are discussed, the coaching and development is discussed, and appraisal, and same process starts. So overall a performance management process involves these all phases. This one is going to be with the HR, this is going to be done within HR with the employees, this is going to be done like within the HR for the improvement with the management. So basically they use all of this to like perform the performance appraisals. So overall when you're going for appraisals, it looks like that you are given up a form and you fill up that form and they have interviews over here, but actually the behind the process is this big, and this involves so many different phases, and human resource professional can understand that how difficult it is to go for the performance management process. So this video was up to here. I hope so you like this video. If you like this video, do share it and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.